I never had played Metroid Prime on GameCube before in my life. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi genre overall, and I always had a feeling that this reboot of the series would be more of a childish, but fuck me. I know there is a remastered version, but I decided to play the original GameCube version on an emulator to make it run as well as possible. I never had high hopes for the game, and so I only played it now, and I have to say that it turns out this is one of my favorite games now. I had such a blast with the game and felt such a great rate of progress with it all along it. It's funny, but Planet Yor feels more alive than in many modern games. There's no clear story, progress, dialogues, etc., but it still pushes you onwards with clear purpose. It's mind-baffling how well it hooks you into the world and its story, although on paper the story is kill enemy X. There is a lot of backtracking which I'm not a fan of. But in here it's done so fucking well. You receive multiple different weapons and items that help you progress, and when you backtrack it's often easy to go different routes now. New weapons open new doors, and all this is shown on a handy map. Seriously, this map is one of the best maps in gaming history. In short, the game is going from A to B. In B route splits and you can to C or X. Go to X and then go back to A or possibly to C or B. The map shows the door colors that represent the weapons, which means you are not forced to remember the 100 areas the game has. Different weapons cause different kind of ailments and damage to different enemies, and now everything works with everything. There is infinite amount of ammo except for the rockets, which are a special pickup. You can receive a ton of upgrades to the amount of rockets you can carry, and same goes for your maximum health. The health pickups are pretty necessary, although you can replenish your health at save points. Considering how old the game is, the amount of enemies and variety in them is good enough. I do hate the enemy soldiers that are colored to some of your beam and you have to use the same color to beat them. It's not a big deal, but feels a bit stupid instead of just adding a new enemy type. Controls again are eaten by time. There is no free aiming with second stick. You have to lock onto the enemy and then you can strafe etc. around the enemy. Free look forces you to stand still as you press aim button and then left stick to look around. On Wii version you can look around with the Wiimote, so if you don't like lock on fighting, go for that. Other than that, the controls are fine. It's like this with a lot of old games, that the modern controls scheme is not yet to be realized, especially on Nintendo consoles. Enemies act naturally, and especially the animals. Some of them just try to defend themselves. The pirates, that are the humanoid enemies, act like real thinking beings and are startled if you surprise them. They vary from very aggressive to very defensive. Bosses are pre-scripted to certain moves and did not change their behaviors a lot. This means after few tries you will be able to kill the bosses without taking damage if you don't have Alzheimer. Visually the game looks magnificent for the time being, as it still holds up very well, amazingly well on Dolphin emulator. Animations are seamless, textures, frame rate, everything just is perfect for GameCube. Music is haunting and exhilarating and at times beautiful and calm, especially in the underwater areas. Audio otherwise has a nice impact always when it has to have. Sound effects strike just the right chords. For me the game was so refreshing compared to the modern games, and it totally deserves 10 out of 10.